And I look down and I'm like, hold please. There are 6 people on this group text. I had the understanding 4 people were going on this trip. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Because when I was reading the text, in my brain, I was saying, just flash your boobs and get in. And then you wrote in the text, don't worry, I flashed my boobs. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, Michelle is my person. You literally had my backside.
I know, like quite literally. Your backside. Yeah.
My ass. I just feel like we've had lives together before, and this was a reunion of that coming back.
Yeah.
And the same with Jen as well.
So we are kicking this little episode off, and this is the episode that is about you and me and how we met, our little love story. And a crazy thing about us is that we have known each other for less than 3 months, right?
Is it less than 3 months?
Yeah, in March it'll be 3 months. Like our 3-month anniversary is coming up.
God, that's so funny. Oh my goodness.
It is. And so we, like I said, we didn't know each other. And why we're doing this and everything, we're going to talk about that. But we met in Cancun, Mexico.
Yes, we did.
And I'll just tell kind of a little bit of my story and my experience, and then I want you to tell your story and your experience. So my college roommate, Jen, and I and our husbands like to go and travel together. We went to Cancun and we were so excited. Tom and I ended up booking our trip only 3 weeks before. Like, we were not supposed to go on this trip at all. It wasn't in the plan, wasn't in the budget, all of those things. And we were like, you know what? Forget it. We are making this happen. We need it. I need Jen. Like, we're going to make this happen. And so we did. Yeah. And we booked it. And we land in Cancun. We were the first ones to arrive, and we head to the Cancun airport restaurant bar, sip some margaritas because we're in Mexico, we're on vacation, right? And I am sitting there and I see a text come through, and it's from Jen, and she's like, you know what? My flight's delayed. We're going to be there soon, but we're just going to be a little later. We don't care. We're in the hotel bar. We're loving it. And I look down and I'm like, hold please. There are 6 people on this group text. I had the understanding 4 people were going on this trip. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Jen had mentioned to me that possibly her husband Matt's college roommate, Drew, who we'll talk about in a second, he's a pilot and he was going to be in town maybe a little bit, maybe for a couple days. And I recognized his area code, but I'm like, who is this 6th person? So on the side, on the group text, I'm like, hey, there's some additional people here. Can you just who are they? And she's like, oh yeah, it's Drew, and he's bringing his girlfriend.
Because I wasn't even his girlfriend at that point. Okay.
So again, I knew that you were his girlfriend before you knew you were his girlfriend. In a very roundabout, inadvertent way. So I really didn't know, but that's how you were described to me as Drew's girlfriend. And Jen says, and by the way, he's been dating her for 3 weeks. We have no idea how this is going to go. We've never met her. We've never talked to her. All we know is her name.
Mm-hmm.
And
incidentally, 3 weeks that Sunday when we were there. So it still wasn't even 3 weeks.
Oh gosh, yeah. So, super fresh. So it ends up that, so Tom and I landed first, and then you landed next.
Mm-hmm.
And so then as you were like, hey, I've landed, Tom and I realized we're in a completely different terminal. Okay. So Cancun is a large airport, a lot of traffic in and out. And we flew on one airline, and then that was in one terminal. You, Drew, and then Jen and Matt flew on different airlines that were in the other terminal. You cannot connect. There's no connection between the two terminals. And so Tom and I are like, we'll walk. No, you don't walk. And so finally we get a cab and we can't get in. So we're like, oh my gosh, Campbell's there. She's already landed. Like, I don't want her to be alone. Like, let's go. And so we can't get in. So when you exit one terminal, you cannot get in the next terminal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, okay, what am I going to do? And so, guys, hey, you know what? We just took a cab, but we can't get in. And then this text goes through. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. I flashed my boobs. We got in. And so then I've not met you. I have not talked to you. I've not seen you. I've not laid eyes on you. And all of a sudden, I get this text back. And she's like, you're like, oh my God, we're already best friends. Like, I don't even know what you said, but you were like, oh my God, like you are my person.
I did, yeah. I don't know whether I loved you in that moment. I think I did. I think I fell in love with you that moment. It's okay, I flashed my boobs. And I tell you why, because this is so funny. Because when I was reading the text, in my brain, I was saying, duh, just flash your boobs and get in. And then you wrote in the text, don't worry, I flashed my boobs. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, Michelle is my person. She is the sister that I prayed for my entire life.
Yes.
Thank you, Drew. And the love affair began in that moment.
It did. So we had our first sight moment before we even laid sight on each other.
Exactly.
And so, to be clear, I didn't have to flash my boobs. I love a good shock value text, and it's just more my personality of like my sarcasm and stuff like that. If I had to, I don't know, maybe I would have, but I didn't have to. They were very nice, and we just explained our friends are in there. We have a ride to our hotel together, and they were like, oh, of course, everybody says that. Go on in. So we do. And so we get into the bar, the new bar, second bar, more margaritas. We're just like, okay, so what do you think this girl is? Like, okay, we've met Drew, we know Drew. What is he going to bring? Is this going to be a literal show, or is this going to be the best week we've ever had? And guess what it was? It was the best week. So not only did you and I connect immediately, and by the way, Campbell rolls up in a shirt that says trophy husband.
Oh yeah, which was somewheres.
Yeah, and so
wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it was perfect. And you just roll up and you've got this shirt on and you just have this energy and you can see it. Like I can see you right now and I can see the energy that you have. It just radiates from you. And I was like, okay, this is going to be good.
You're such a
You're going to be good.
Exactly how I felt. Can I share how I was feeling?
Please.
So first of all, Drew missed his connection and it wasn't his fault. It was just that, the lights and everything were backed up, delayed, I think because it was snow or something like this. So he was delayed, missed his connection, and he was just like, he flew to Minneapolis to come and pick me up, to take me there. He didn't have to do that. He could have just gone straight to Mexico. But no, this guy flies to Minneapolis to make his connection in Minneapolis, so that I would make the plane with him. But anyway, it didn't work out that way. He said, honey, go ahead, you'll be fine. I'll be right behind you. So I did. I waited for him, and that's when the texting started between you and I. But I was nervous. I was scared. Like my whole life has been very different with females and women in general. I've never really had very many good girlfriends. I've certainly gotten more amazing girlfriends as I've gotten older, because I think that we're at a point in our lives where we just like, come on, like what level of maturity are we at now? Yeah. But still, women in general are either triggered by me or feel less than around me, which is ridiculous, because when they know me, they know that I am the biggest cheerleader and all I want to do is support women and love women and be their greatest support network. But that hasn't been my story. That hasn't been my experience at all. And even women that say, oh my God, I love you so much, but they're like stabbing me in the back at the same time. You know what I mean? It's been quite awful. And also this whole ghosting thing, I've had it with women multiple times, and it's just It's gut-wrenching. It's like nails down the chalkboard, horrific feelings, and just not, they feel like they're less than, but the way that makes you feel is worse than less than. And also, I'm entering a dynamic duo, that
Yes.
been best friends since college, and I never had that university college experience. You guys have been best friends for 20 plus years, and I'm like, my God, this is going to be disastrous. But then I kept thinking, no, I don't want to think like that. Drew is not like that. Drew would not put me in this situation. And I know that, like, he sent me that text and was like, I just don't want there to be any drama. He goes, but you're not a dramatic person. Like, you're so drama free. You're so carefree and easy. I think this is all going to be fine. This is why I asked you. And even though it might have crazy to most people, and I know it's still crazy to a lot of people, that I would just randomly go on a trip with this guy, but I've never felt more safe in my entire life around a man. And the fact that he was saying, come with my friends are going to be there, I want you to meet my friends, they're like my dearest friends, it just meant the world to me. And I thought, if anything turns out hideous, I'll just go and get another hotel room, or I'll move hotels, or I'll go home. Like, I'm a grown-ass woman, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I had an intuition, I had a feeling that this was going to be really, really great, but I was still scared about the whole duo. Because
then, in walks, Jen and Matt. The four of us already there, and it was like there was no question. There was no like. It was like we've known you forever.
It feels like I've said this,
and we didn't know. Yeah, go ahead.
I just feel like we've had lives together before, and this was a reunion of that coming back. And the same with Jen as well. There was one day where I was like, oh my God, is Jen okay? To you, I said that. And you're like, yeah, she's had too much to drink. Like, she's just been...
she's hungover, actually. Oh, you're fine.
I didn't get that dynamic because I haven't had a hangover for 14 years or however long it's been since I drank, So, I didn't understand that. But, like, now I understand and I love you guys. Like, I don't want to do life without either of you. And
I know. And we had your back since day one. And we will have your back forever.
You literally had my backside.
I know. Like, quite literally.
I'm so grateful. I'm so incredibly blessed. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for Drew. And I'm super grateful and thankful that he trusted his own intuition about me and thought, I'm gonna bring her, and she needs this, and she's been through enough. I think she'll have some fun. And it was more than fun. It was having a family holiday with my family.
Absolutely. And that is what it felt like. It was amazing, and it led us here. Like, we didn't know anything about each other. We didn't know a single thing.
I know.
And over, the week or however many days we were there, we learned some things, but it's the relationship that we've had that's kind of taken us forward that has become more and more meaningful every day.